that boy Stark is smooth. Like, yo, look at this. Like, yo, look at this animation. Like, just, it's so good. Like, this is just such a good segment for the episode because first things first, I gotta talk about the choreography, okay? The choreography of this segment is just so good. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people might not even just realize how good it is, because it's slowed down and so methodical with its just approach with the art animation that it looks real. It looks just like they tried to slow it down and make it look as realistic as possible, you know, with how a real dance would be in real life. Like, pay attention to these movements. When you just see them, like, spinning around and moving and all that, it might not look as probably high octane as, like, something from Jujutsu Kaisen or anything, but the movement of the characters here, while they're kind of spinning around to the arm movement and all that, there is a lot of technical detail. Like, there's just detail poured into the scene with the movement of the clothes, to the hair, to the eyes. There's a lot that's going on here with the footwork. It might not seem like a whole lot, but like I said, the choreography of this dance legitimately is amazing. I don't know exactly how they fully did this, but whoever animated this segment had to do like some form of studying on dance, or just had to maybe do something there. Like, there was a lot of work put in this scene, a lot of prep work to be able to adapt this scene into an anime, because the movement is just really close to actually the real dance in real life. Look it up yourself. And this takes a lot of work, especially with the movement of the dress and stuff. I cannot imagine how many hours or tens of hours was just poured into this segment on this episode of Frieren. It's great, and I'm talking about the art and animation only right now. I'm not even talking about the message and the theme of it with Fern and, you know, Stark here, but I really love the choreography. It's so beautiful here. It's not something I expected. It's not something I expected to see at all, because once again, I'm an anime only. I don't know what's going to happen anymore, and this whole scene really just came as a surprise to me, seeing these two dancing and all that, and just how good the dress looks and movement and stuff. It's just like, yo, they did fantastic work with this. Like, this is actual cinema. This is, if I think of cinema, I think of this. And I know people instantly want to probably think of a fight scene, but you don't need to have a fancy fight to be able to have really good art and animation, and this definitely shows that. But okay, with that out of the way, okay, enough gushing about that. I do want to talk about just the message here with this theme for the episode, okay? There was a lot of, like, Fern and Stark moments within this episode. Like, you see where Fern here passes out, and Stark has already passed out thanks to a curse. And there was little moments like this already happening throughout the episode where these two were kind of having a bond. And anyone that's been obviously watching the show knows at this point that Fern and Stark pretty much have, like, some romantic feelings building up between each other, slowly but surely. And eventually, at the end of the story, most likely they're going to get together. And when you see this exchange, you're like, oh, that's very adorable. I think anyone watching this that really likes the, you know, these two characters would be like, that's a very little sweet scene, even though there's a lot of urgency with the whole curse and stuff. But then you get into the second half, and you get this whole stuff here where, like, there's a hand-holding scene where she literally gets her hand held, and he's like, my lady, and all that. It's so good. Like, this is such a gorgeous scene that really just shows different sides to these characters that we don't normally see often. Because obviously, Fern as a character is someone that's very stern. She's someone that is very cold or distant. Even though she's a closet pervert, she is someone that keeps things to herself, but also she's someone that, just doesn't have a lot of expression, kind of. And when you see her in this episode, she expresses a lot with very few words, with just the movement alone. And once again, shoutouts to the animators for this scene, because it was able to tell Fern's feelings and Stark's feelings without even words for this scene. I think that's what makes it very powerful, is that we were able to understand that in this moment, these two were like in their own little bubble, their own world. They were in a magical experience just having this together. And obviously, thanks to circumstances, Stark probably never would have done this, Fern never would have done this, and it's very clear that they didn't actually fully enjoy the effort to get here. But when they finally started dancing together, they realized all of it was worth it in the end, to do all this training for the job, dance, etc. It really turned out to be a very good experience for them. A nice little nod to, you know, like, oh, a job well done. It's great. Legitimately. And I think that seeing Fern like she was in this episode, she acted very meek or shy. Like, look at the expression here. It really says a lot about her character, even like Stark here. But I love Fern's expression, because you could tell, even though she's not saying anything, she's very embarrassed, and she's aware of what's going on. She's like, holy crap, I am dancing with Stark. And most likely she's feeling feelings, like love, romantic feelings towards him, because this is like, holy crap, he really is a gentleman. He can be, even though he's quite the brute and a frontliner, fighting monsters and stuff. She definitely got to see a side of him that she was really happy to see, and vice versa for Stark. Now, besides that as well, I do just really like the outfit designs. Like, oh my goodness, like, okay, once again, some might chalk this up to being a little bit simplistic, but I do love just the way the outfits look. It looks very traditional. I love how different, like, each character looks, the way the hair is done. For instance, like, look at Stark, he has the whole, like, slick back going on. I really like just the different designs of the characters on display here. They're out of their normal attire, they're doing something different. This isn't necessarily like a fight to the death, this is a fight on the dance floor, so to speak. Yeah, it just, there's so much here. Like, oh my goodness, like, this frame is so good. I love when she does, like, the head tilt down. It's so freaking good. Like, let me see if I can actually find this here. Like, I was just super impressed. Like, yeah, look at this. Like, the way they move here, and then he tilts, like, that's so good, man. Like, oh my god, that's so good. But okay, I gotta stop gushing about this, because, like, it's, as you can see, I'm a big Fern and Stark, like, pairing guy. I know pairings don't matter, I don't care too much about them in the grand scheme of things if it happens or not, but I'm a big sucker for romance, obviously, and seeing this, just, like, seeing love in the air, romance, forming and all that, it's beautiful, and I can't get enough of it. So, anyways, let's get into the first half of the episode. So, the first half of the episode really has a nice, serious moment and a different contrast to the second half. Because the first half is basically where Frieren and all of them, they go into a village, and they find out that the entire inhabitants, they have passed out. They're all asleep, basically, and none of them will awake thanks to a curse. And we get a little bit more information on magic of the world, of, like, how, people that are, priests and stuff, their magic comes from a different source that, like, mages like Frieren or Fern cannot use, because they don't know the fundamentals of really how to use it. And so those that are priests, etc., they are blessed pretty much by a god, they are resistant to curses, and they can use magic that's just completely different from what normal mages could do. And the same can be said for demons, which has already been hinted at already within the story. So I do like that. We got a little bit more world building with magic and stuff, and kind of why they need a priest, even though Frieren is obviously very skilled at magic. She can't do every magic, because only certain individuals can do certain magic, so that's really cool. I do like that little world building. But we had the party slowly, one by one, just dropping and falling asleep, until eventually even Frieren herself passed out, and it was just like, oh, this is not good. Like, this is legitimately not a good situation. And I like how our priest, he has a whole moment to shine to be able to take down this monster here, and then he thinks of old advice, and he awakens Frieren to be able to, take out the monster that was, like, cursing everybody, making them asleep. So yeah, there was some nice little segments here to build up characters, to give character development, progression, characterization. Just so much little stuff here. Just, man, Frieren is a gift that keeps on giving. It's a really good show, and the more and more I watch of it, the more I fall in love with it, and I'm having an absolute blast. Like, I'm so happy now I'm kind of like an anime only. I don't know what's going to happen, because it's just such a blast of an anime to watch, and I feel like now I'm just like, what's going to happen next, Are they going to get another party member? Are they not going to get another party member? Will Fern and Stark actually say, will you marry me, and all that? There's so many things. But, yeah, just there you go. I wanted to talk about it. Great episode. If you have yet to watch this, I fully recommend you do, because, like, man, it's such a good show. This little fighting segment here is so good. Like, when he is legitimately having to fight and all that, and he doesn't want to wake up, Frieren, just, like, the movement of the plant and all that is, oh, it's cinema. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Just watch Frieren. If you somehow are watching this video and you have not watched Frieren, watch Frieren. It's too good, man. It's way too good. We are really feasting on some great anime for this season. If it's not, Frieren, it's Jujutsu Kaisen. If it's not Jujutsu Kaisen, it's Undead Unluck. If it's not Undead Unluck, it's Eminence and Shadow. You get the point. There's a lot of good shows this season, back to back, day by day, and I'm so happy to be able to, live in a time where there's just so many good stories that I love that are getting adapted. Oh yeah, one last thing I do want to say before I do wrap up this video though. I like how Frieren is like eating cake, and basically she has a whole entire mood. She's like, nah, I'm going to eat cake instead of dancing. It's super cute. Straight up mood. Love Frieren. Okay, be safe, stay healthy, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Chibi out.